He went up against Leicester City, the former Premier League champions today, and the Sky Blues were the ones that got all the bragging rights. Shaka, you weren't too impressed with their performance, though, even though they got the win in the end and it took them to third place. But what stood out for you from this game?
Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of things about City haven't been impressive of late. And I think they've avoided some criticism because of Manchester United's own feelings and Arsenal, who seem to go off the race, saying that they seem to be back on track now. But this is a City team, as expensively put together as it has been, that have stumbled far too consistently. And for all the praise that we've heaped on Pep Guardiola in the past, and I have to say, I've been head cheerleader in that regard, certainly here at the ESPN FC, this is a team, and as it seems, a manager still unable to manage games. City totally bossed the early proceedings. Go 2-up, and we can discuss the opening goal. I think it was right or the offside position of Raheem Sterling, right to be ignored. The goal should stand. Then Okazaki gets one back for Leicester, a little bit against not a little bit, very much against the run of play, but it goes to the break. And this is where Pep Guardiola has got to earn his money. City have got to manage games a whole lot better. At this level, there's very little between top and mid-table, let's say. And if Pep Guardiola doesn't do his job, you see exactly what happens in the second half. Leicester, come on. This is a Leicester team, not going down, not getting into Europe, don't have anything to play for anymore, but come out and actually the better, in my opinion, of the two teams in the second half. Now, again, there are a number of incidents we could point to. The Raheem Sterling offside. As it were from the Silva goal, as I just mentioned, that should stand. Fernandinho could very easily have seen red for the elbow on Albrighton. And then the Mahrez penalty to make it 2-2, he slips, the referee's right to disallow the goal, but those are the margins between City taking 3 points and consolidating their position in third, and them again dropping points at home against a team with nothing to play for. And I go back to the fact that this is a City team very expensively put together, a lot more is expected, and all of a sudden we are talking about a slip away from them dropping points to a team that have absolutely nothing to play for when so much at stake for City.
Well, up next I have West Brom and Watford. What would you like to see from them to finish off the season?
Well, I'd like to see what we saw from them to start this season. A team that is not only good going forward, but seem to have some kind of a plan at the back. A team that when they take a 2-goal lead are better able to manage games.
At the back has been their number one question.
That's been their whole problem.
For the transfer window.
Well, again, this is a team that has a budget that is the envy of 99% of the Premier League. And I'm not offering them a simple excuse of, well, he needs another transfer window. This is a project, albeit under different managers, that has gone on for quite some time, that would suggest they need to be further along or showing better than they have done, certainly this game, and if you want to talk big picture over the course of the season.
All right, thanks so much, Shaka Hislop. So Manchester City still with a lot of questions to answer, Pep Guardiola as well, but for right now they are in third place in the Premier League table. City have quite the goal-keeping, I don't even know if I want to call it a problem. It seems that they might be spoiled for options. Alejandro Moreno joining me on this one. Alejandro, the latest we're hearing is that Victor Valdez could be the new man at the Etihad. Would this be a good fit, and what does that mean for Caballero and Bravo and possibly Joe Hart?
So you're telling me that Claudio Bravo is not the answer?
Apparently so. Well, we know Valdez and Pep Guardiola have shared some pretty good times.
Well, yes, they have. Here's the thing. Claudio Bravo was expected to do a job. And Pep Guardiola hung on to Claudio Bravo for as long as he could, to the point to where he became stubborn in just keeping Claudio Bravo on the field.
Yes.
Clearly, he has not worked out at Manchester City, and now you have to find answers somewhere. But if you're Guardiola, you don't want to go back to Joe Hart, because you know what that is? That's admitting a mistake.
Yes.
And managers at that level will not admit that sort of mistake. And so therefore, you go and look for something else that you know, something else that you're comfortable with. Well, it makes sense that you know Victor Valdez and you're comfortable with Victor Valdez. You know what he can do on the field, what he has given you in the past, and you hope that he can produce that.
That's it. You hope, because if he does get Victor Valdez, will he get the Victor Valdez of Barcelona that Pep came to know and love?
Well, no.
So there you go. Is he not better off sticking with a Willie Caballero or giving Joe Hart a second chance? You can't be that stubborn, can he, Ali?
Where's Joe Hart playing right now? Yes, he can be that stubborn. Joe Hart is in Torino, hanging out, chilling, having a good old time. If he was not that stubborn, Guardiola, Joe Hart would be at Manchester City. But he said, no, my guy is Claudio Bravo, and I'm going to live and die with Claudio Bravo. Until Claudio Bravo just told him, you know what, this ain't gonna work out.
Not working.
So Willie Caballero became the option. I don't think Joe Hart is the answer, not for Guardiola. He'll go elsewhere before he comes back to Joe Hart.
All right, so stubborn Pep, I guess, will win this one, and indeed we will see if Victor Valdez does make yet another new home, this time at the Etihad with Manchester City. The league is often described as the most competitive league in the world, partly because it's not really as predictable as, say, La Liga or the Bundesliga. Stevie Nicol is here with me. Stevie, not everybody seems to think so, though. Some have said that the Premier League is actually quite dull. Now, before you get into this, let me ask you, are you feeling excited about the last 2 weeks in the Premier League?
No.
So is it dull then?
Well, because of the way it's panned out, the Championship is basically over. Well, it is over. Chelsea are going to win it. Listen, the Premier League is anything but predictable. We all predicted Leicester were going to win last year, didn't we?
But is it dull?
I think the second part of the season, there have been a lot of dull games, yes. I think the level of play has certainly dropped from particularly the teams we expected to entertain us. Your Manchester Cities, United. Let's be honest, Manchester United have been anything but entertaining.
You're going to throw in your former club as well?
Liverpool, oh my goodness, it's been torture the last 2 or 3 months. So dull, as in the games haven't been exciting, but predictable. Anything but. Who would have predicted that Arsenal might end up 6th this year after, 20 years of being in the top 4? Who would have predicted United wouldn't even be trying to get in the Prem top 4? And we're trying to win the Europa League. So, anything but predictable.
But the quality does make it a bit dull.
I think this second part of the season has been disappointing.
Would you blame possibly some of the managers there? Because another reason why they say it's gone so dull is because everyone was so excited to see Pep Guardiola and Jose Mourinho and the likes of them renew their rivalry in the Premier League, expecting big things, expecting nice football, but they sort of have underachieved with their new clubs. And that's probably what's contributing to the dull.
I think they've definitely underachieved. At the same time, I think I would question what we thought we were going to get. You know, with so many managers, there's only one team can win at the end of the day. And I just think we were expecting too much. That's the honest truth. Great managers they are, all of the ones you mentioned. Maybe the teams that they inherited weren't quite as good as they thought they were, and certainly weren't as good as we thought they were. But next year, I can't wait to see what they're all going to do, because they'll have to make lots of signings. So I'm back excited about next year. This year's done and dusted for me.
But you're still excited.
Next year, absolutely.
All right, thanks so much, Stevie Nicol. Well, there you have it, the Premier League. Anything but predictable, but it might have gotten a bit dull in terms of quality, but we're still excited for it.
Your first goal, David Silva's goal.
Yeah.
What did you make of it? From a Leicester point of view, it was controversial. Raheem Sterling stood offside, swings his foot at the ball. What did you make of it?
I don't know if Rush touched the ball.
He didn't.
Goal. Because he doesn't stop the position for the goalkeeper.
So, generally speaking, in those instances...
Listen, the referees never spoke about that, so when I say something, I go to the referees and said what is my opinion, but here, no. If you have some question about the referees here in the locker room, you can go ask him and what is the reason why.
Let me try this with you, though. Does the referee do very well to spot, with the Mahrez penalty, that he touches it twice?
Touch twice?
Yeah, but to spot that is good, right?
Well done.
How did you spot it? Because you straight away saw the second touch.
Yeah, maybe it's the first or second time in my life I saw that. But Otamendi is sleeping in the first goal, so and Mahrez as well. So we have to look after our boots.
Forget that Gabriel was 3 months injured, so we play 1 week last day today, but still is in like a pre-season a little bit when we are finishing the season. So no time, but it's. So the numbers are there, but the players has understand, and Gabriel is a guy who understands perfectly. He's a young player, 19 years old, and still have a lot of things to improve, a lot. But he's open-minded, he's able to improve it, and he will do that.
Disappointed, but hard done by after that.
Yep, definitely.
Okay, tell us why.
Well, first goal's offside. Anybody who's played football, especially in goal, we know it's offside. First of all, he's blocking my view when the ball comes across him. He goes for the ball, he's blocking Christian Fuchs to even make an attempt for the ball, so it's offside. And it's one of these debates we, as players, would love to get involved in, but we're not allowed to. So, you know, that's what makes it very frustrating that, you know, they aren't willing to listen.
Just tell us, because a lot of us obviously haven't played the game, what can you see and how different is it for you if he's not stood there swinging his foot at the ball?
Well, if he's in the 6-yard box as a goalkeeper and the ball's going by him, it's going past my line of sight, that means he's interfering. It doesn't even matter if he has to go for it. He's interfering because I can't see the ball at one point. Christian Fuchs can't get to the ball because he's stood in the way of him. He prevents him from swinging the ball, his foot at the ball. He swings his foot at the ball, so he's made an attempt. So he's 3 times he's offside, and yeah, it's one of these very frustrating decisions because we'd done well up to then, and we kind of lost our composure for 5 or 6 minutes, and they get the second one, and it's a very uphill task. But we did really well. I think we dug in, we got the goal, and we've. You know, the incident with Riyad is obviously a freak incident. You know, we saw I think it was Griezmann in the semi-final, and it stood. So, you know, you talk about consistency. It's very difficult to take.
You said they wouldn't listen. What did you say to the officials? Because you spent a lot of time walking with the ref at half-time.
Yeah, just in general, you know, no one. So, you know, it's a very frustrating thing to talk about because we can't really get involved in the debate too much.
That first goal, just give us your view of what happened.
David's shot. As an attacker, you're always trying to be in and about. I realised if I touched it, I was probably offside, so I tried to intentionally swing a foot at it. Then I realised if I did touch it, then it would have been offside, so I left it.
So you went for it and then deliberately left it?
Yeah.
And it looked like you had a little look at the assistant. Were you worried it might get ruled out?
No, I wasn't worried because I know I didn't touch it, but I wasn't too close to it, so that's definitely David's goal and definitely deserved to.